I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin.
Trump makes some bold and combative statements at the Libertarian National Convention. Does this mean Bitcoin is becoming another divisive political wedge in this election? Also, Bitcoin game theory goes into overdrive as yet another company announces a Bitcoin strategy. Are we leaving the gradually phase and entering the suddenly phase? And finally, over 140,000 Bitcoin is on the move from the Mt. Gox estate. Will creditors finally receive their long-lost Bitcoin? Will they hodl or will they sell? Welcome to Bitcoin Daily. I am not Dante Cook, head of Swan Business. I'm Hurley, director of content here at Swan, and I'll be covering for Dante for this week. Donald Trump spoke at the 2024 Libertarian National Convention over the weekend, and he made some incredibly noteworthy remarks about Bitcoin.
I will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in the USA, not driven overseas. I will support the right to self-custody. To the nation's 50 million crypto holders, I say this with your vote. I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin. And I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency.
This completes Trump's total 180 on Bitcoin, since his public remarks as still sitting president in 2019, where he tweeted this, quote, "I'm not a fan of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, which are not money and whose value is highly volatile and based on thin air. Unregulated crypto assets can facilitate unlawful behavior, including drug trade and other illegal activity," end quote. Now, a few things are notable about this latest statement. He made a clear differentiation between crypto and Bitcoin, saying, "I will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in the USA." He also said that he supports Americans' right to self-custody, which is very important. And of course, it wouldn't be standard political warfare and it wouldn't be Trump if he didn't take some jabs politically, where he clearly puts Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren in his crosshairs, saying, quote, "I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin." Again, using the word Bitcoin in place of crypto. Interesting. And let me just take a moment to say that poor Elizabeth Warren's crusade and war against Bitcoin and crypto, it seems like it's coming to an end, with this and last week's favorable crypto innovation bill Fit 21 passing in the House. Now, I'll admit, I was starting to get concerned that Bitcoin would become just another divisive political wedge like everything else, especially as we approach this year's election. But now it's starting to look like there's much to gain and little to lose by supporting Bitcoin as a presidential candidate. Swan CEO Corey Clipston says it pretty succinctly in this tweet. He says, quote, "It was going to be very hard making Bitcoin not just a right-wing thing in the USA politically. But now it appears that both parties are going to compete over crypto campaign contributions, and they'll have to pay lip service to Bitcoin as part of that. As a result, I don't think USA partisan alignment will be a big risk for Bitcoin going forward." And he includes the hashtag Bitcoin is for everyone. Couldn't agree more on that later. Now, Trump also made waves in the Bitcoin and libertarian community at large by flat out saying he would commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht on day one of his presidency.
And if you vote for me on day one, I will commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht to a sentence of time served.
For those that aren't familiar with Ross Ulbricht, he was the creator and operator of the online black market website Silk Road that operated from 2011 to 2013, which utilized Bitcoin as the sole means of payment. Ross is currently incarcerated and serving a double life sentence, having already been behind bars for over a decade. So Trump very clearly has the right people in his ear. Chief among them, former Republican presidential candidate and staunch Bitcoiner Vivek Ramaswamy, who is now a supporter and member of Team Trump. I guess sometimes things really do move quickly in Bitcoin. The game theory is playing out, and perhaps quicker than a lot of people anticipated. Just like any politician looking to gain votes in the political circus that is the United States election, they're going to pay lip service and give support wherever they can get votes. The Trump campaign has obviously done their due diligence. They know that supporting Americans' freedom to own, transact, and self-custody Bitcoin is not a wedge issue. You win millions of single-issue voters by supporting it, and you lose almost nothing in the process. It looks like the goal of having a Bitcoiner in office as a US sitting president in 2028 is not only looking possible, but probable. Game theory wins. Swan CIO Hafiz Zaguri released a great article just today about the recent Bitcoin regulatory and political moves and its effects on Bitcoin, and it's excellent. Check it out, I'll leave the link in the description. In other news, and another perfect example of game theory playing out in real time, Semler Scientific, a medical technology and software company, announced a Bitcoin treasury strategy today, buying 581 Bitcoin for around $40 million. Chairman Eric Semler said, quote, "Our Bitcoin treasury strategy and purchase of Bitcoin underscores our belief that Bitcoin is a reliable store of value and a compelling investment," end quote. Co-founder of Swan, Jan Pritzker, tweeted this in response to the announcement. Pay attention, CEOs. Game theory playing out as planned. You can't be last to this party. You will be fired by your shareholders if you do not consider the best option for treasury management. The more everyone else does it, the more your job is at risk. I couldn't agree more. The Bitcoin strategy for corporations is quickly becoming an imperative, and the ones that don't have one will quickly pay for the mistake with their jobs. Final news story of the day is the Mt. Gox coins seem to finally be on the move. 140,000 Bitcoin worth $9 billion has been transferred today to a single wallet, signaling the repayment plan might be finally in effect. For those that don't know what Mt. Gox is, it's now the defunct and ancient Bitcoin exchange that went bust in 2014 and reportedly lost over 850,000 of its customers' Bitcoin. Alex Thorne has the latest from a direct statement from the rehabilitation trustee. The statement says, quote, "The rehabilitation trustee is currently managing Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash in a secure manner. As the rehabilitation trustee is proceeding with the preparation for the above repayments, please wait for a while until the repayments are made." So your guess is as good as mine for how long a while is. It sounds like it could be several months before creditors actually get the Bitcoin. And it's still unclear how many will hodl and how many will sell once the coins are distributed. Now, finally, I want to leave you with this clip from Michael Saylor from What Bitcoin Did over the weekend, where he talks about Bitcoin being a sly roundabout way for making the world a better place.
My approach is, I think about the one thing that can make the world a better place. And I think about the one thing I might accomplish. Like I literally don't think, like MicroStrategy spent $7.5 billion buying Bitcoin. I don't think that if we spent $7.5 billion on the next 100 things you think are wrong with the world, I don't think it'd make a difference. I think that you would just spend the money and the counter side, the other opposition, would spend an equivalent amount of money to negate the amount of money you're spending. So I don't think you change the world through full frontal attacks, and I don't think you change it through aggressive confrontation. I think you change it through elegant, diplomatic innovation, and that's my observation. If I look at the history of the world, the people that made the world a better place, the people that introduced steel, electricity, antibiotics, the smallpox vaccine, aeroplanes, steam engines, internal combustion engines, motors, Starlink. These are all very elegant things, and they're non-controversial at the end of the day. Maybe early on people are afraid of new tech, but if you look back and you say, well, just give me an example of someone that righteously opposed electricity, who history deems was on the right side of that, I think generally history views you on the wrong side of technical innovation. And so you'll win over time if you want to change the world with technology. Technology is bipartisan.
Bitcoin is the great unifier. Let's not let Bitcoin become a political wedge. Let's build bridges, respect others. Let's help educate that Bitcoin really is for everyone, and one of the best ways to make a fairer and more just society. With that, we're signing off for the day. This is Hurley with Swan.com. Bitcoin is for everyone.